Hey guys, another inbox review for you, rather. A little bit late in the day, I know, but unfortunately I've been a bit busy today trying to sort stuff out. So I was going to do two, but unfortunately only going to get the one today and possibly another one tomorrow. I thought I'd do one of two classic military transport aircraft, and about a year ago Micromere released this little 1/144th kit of a very classic transport aircraft of the 50s and 60s, the Blackburn Beverley, which was one of the largest transport aircraft ever to be in the inventory of the Royal Air Force. It was powered by Bristol Centaurus engines, had a maximum ceiling of 16,000 feet, and was unique in the fact that it could actually it had a cavernous cargo bay at the bottom there, and on the very top of the fuselage here was where the troops were stowed. So yeah, and all the crews that actually worked on them loved them. In fact, they were rather sad to see it go when it was replaced by the Hercules in 1967. And to be honest with you, there were a few examples left. I think the last one was flying at Farnborough around about 1973, and I think it was retired around about 1975. And that one is now at Fort Poole, which is the very last remaining Beverley in existence. So yes, and it's in this colour scheme that you see is depicted on the box, the Desert Middle East Campaign camouflage, which was in effect the very early colour scheme for the Hercules when it came into service to replace the Beverley. So yeah, I think it first entered service around about 1958 and first flew around about 1950. And as I say, it served with two squadrons in the UK and one out in the Middle East, in Malaysia, until 1967 when it was replaced with the Hercules. So yeah, short bit nostalgic history of the Beverley there. I do wish somebody would bring out a 1/72 injection moulded kit of this, because this would make a fantastic subject. In fact, I wish Airfix would, to be honest with you, because with their technology they've got today, it would make a fantastic subject. So there you go. But I saw it when I heard about this being released. I had to get one, so thankfully I did. It's actually made by Micromere, or was it Micromere, who are a Ukrainian kit firm. They also do the Argosy and some other obscure aircraft. So yeah, that's why I snapped it up really, because I remember seeing a review on this and I thought that would be a nice subject to have. So yeah. As you can see, it's depicted in its last colour scheme, as you can see here. I think that was with 47 Squadron. I might be incorrect, I don't know. As I say, there is one left in this country if you want to go and see it. That's at Fort Poole. So yeah. And there is a website for this, because I think it was in danger of being lost because it was starting to deteriorate, but somebody has actually bought it. So it's a part of our unique British aviation heritage, really, and as it say, it's the last of its kind, to be honest with you, because there was another one at Hendon, but sadly in 81 that was scrapped, which I think was a big mistake, to be honest with you. So there you go. And actually I do remember seeing that Beverley when I first went to the museum with my dad and mum, when it was sitting outside. So, but sadly, as I say, in 81 it was scrapped because it was in a very poor state. So there you go. So there you go. Anyway, the kit number on this one, if you want to get hold of one, is 144008. It's in 1/144th, which is quite a nice size actually. You got the box art at the front there. You got one of 4 colour options in the box here. The Middle East scheme and obviously the standard RAF scheme that you can see there. And as I say, it's made in the Ukraine by Micromere. In fact, I think they do the Valiant. I wouldn't mind actually getting hold of that as well. And it's in a little tiny box. So there you go. Right, we'll open up the box. Kindly the seller sent me with this wrapped in bubble wrap to protect the contents. You got one sealed bag with all the contents of the kit inside, along with the decals and a little bit of etch brass and a masking set. So that's quite nice. And obviously we've got a little instruction pamphlet on the back here. Just running through a little bit of history of the aircraft, which you can see, unfortunately it's in Ukrainian, but there is an English interpretation at the bottom there. In fact, it was developed from the Hamel glider. That's where they got the idea for this aircraft in the first place. So there you go. So yes, opening up, you've got your, whoops, hang on, got that upside down. You've got your sprue trees, as you can see there, with all the sprues and the parts of the kit, so you can check what you've got in there is all complete, including your etched brass set. And also the wings as well. Obviously the first port of call, as is always with aircraft, is the cockpit. And surprisingly on this one, because it's 1/144, you do have some cockpit detail in there. So basically you've got the main control panel which goes onto the cockpit floor. Obviously then you put the control panel on there with the joysticks, seats going, and the rear bulkhead. Okay, then that slants into one side of the fuselage, and then the air filter is assembled as well. And then you've got the colour scheme here. Now I actually have seen photographs of the back doors opened up on an actual example online, and the colour scheme they've got depicted on here is totally incorrect. Because it was like a creamy white on the top and a sort of a pale, vivid sort of turquoise blue on the bottom. So I wouldn't take any notice of that. The one thing they have got correct is that the cockpit was painted in black. I've actually seen videos of this aircraft on YouTube this afternoon. And then the next procedure, let's just get that out of the way, is to put the two fuselage halves together, and then one of your etched brass parts goes inside the actual cargo bay doors. Obviously put your nose weight in there, otherwise it's going to be a tail sitter. Cargo bay floor goes in, and then obviously you put the two fuselage halves together. Now I'm surprised they haven't actually got a ceiling in this. I think what I'm going to have to do, if I'm having the back doors open, I'm going to have to scratch build a bulkhead up above, to be honest with you. Obviously you're going to see right through the actual aircraft unless you've got the fuselage sealed together. Next process is the assembly of the Bristol Centaurus engines, as you can see here. Then obviously you've got the fitment of the two wing halves. The Centaurus engines go on, the wings go on. Oh, actually you have got an upper bulkhead there, but I think on the internal part, yeah, I'm going to have to put a bit of plasticard in there. So there you go. And then you've got the upper part, the bulkhead for the paratroop section, which you can see there. And then you've got the fitment of the tailplanes and the rudders, as you can see here. Front nose wheel assembly, side undercarriage assembly, as you can see here. And then the next process is all the air filters go in and all the lumps and bumps. Canopy glass goes on. And also the observation section, which was for the, I think the main cargo handler, so they could see where they were going. And then you obviously all your airspeed indicators and wires go on as well, radio masts go on as well, indicated from your etched brass sets. Okay, and then there's a top view of the fuselage as well. On goes your real wheels and struts and the front nose gear bay. And then obviously you've got the option of, I don't know what those are, maybe it's a little bit more of etched brass goes on the rear of the bay in case you want it closed. And then obviously moving on to that, once the kit is assembled, you've got your colour call-outs. First one is one of 30 Squadron in the standard white and silver RAF scheme. You've got another one of 47 Squadron in 62 with some day glow parts on the fuselage and bands. That's an interesting combination, I must admit. And then obviously in an extra sheet, you've got the Mid-East late colour scheme that were on Beverley's before they retired them. This is the one I'm probably going to plumb for actually, because it's the most interesting. And then on the back here is the very last aircraft that flew, which is now at Fort Paul, which was with the Royal Aircraft Establishment at Farnborough in 1973. Actually, I might get another one of these just to build it in this example, because I actually used to live not all that far from Farnborough as well. So there you go. So basically that's the instruction on how to build the kit. It does look quite simple and quite easy actually. So now we're going to have a look at the kit parts. Thankfully it's in a resealable bag. First part is obviously the main fuselage shafts, and the detail on them is exquisite, I have to say. Although I'm surprised I haven't got any hollowed out sections here, but they do come in decal form. So there you go. And again on the side here for the wireless operator station. So yeah, or navigator station as it were. There's some lovely detail there. So for 1/144, that is pretty good. And then on the inside, you've obviously got all the interior walls with all the interior strut work as well. So that's a nice touch. So what I'll do is, obviously, as I say, unfortunately there's no roof here to separate the two sections. So I think I'll use a bit of plastic card as I'm going to build it to go across here onto the back of the fuselage, and that will blank it out. And then obviously you've got the underneath to go as well there. But I have to say, there is a little bit of flash here and there, but nothing that you can't sort out. But I am impressed with the detail on that. And then obviously you've got your two sets of undercarriage wheels and parts of the Bristol Centaurus engines, which you can see here. Not bad for 1/144. Then you've got the engine a little bit of engine detail there as well. So yeah, not bad actually. I'm quite impressed with this. So yeah, nice to scale props as well. So there you go, that's those, and you get two sets of those. And then obviously you've got the interior of the undercarriage bay, the cargo bay, which you can see here, which is nicely detailed. So they've caught that nicely. And then obviously you've got the top of the actual cargo bay there. There's some nice detail there. So, and again, the panel lines are very nicely moulded as well. And then obviously you've got the cargo bay doors. Now there is a lot of flash on these, unfortunately, but here you go. But the detail inside is beautifully represented, as you can see here. So yeah, it's very impressive actually. And then obviously you've got your main tail planes and rear elevators, as you can see here. Again, nice level of panel line detail, which you can see all into scale. And obviously you've got your instrument panel there, which is nicely produced when you compare it to the real thing. Cockpit floor, central column for the actual cockpit. And yeah, very nice. And then obviously you've got your struts here for the wheels and main undercarriage wheels. It's very nicely done. Rear bulkhead and some nice detail there, so that will look nice through the glass perspex. And then obviously you've got the upper part. Is that the lower? No, this is the lower part of the wings, I think. Or is it the upper part? It might be the upper part. No, it's the lower part. Little bit of flash here, but again, get a scalpel and a bit of sanding, that will soon get rid of that, so it's not a problem. Then the upper wing, again, some nice panel line detail there. Plastic, it's quite hard and thick actually. So yeah, nicely done. And then we've obviously got the clear panel parts for the observation area in the nose and the main cockpit panel there, as you can see. Again, you get a mask for these when this paints up. Again, a bit of flash there, but nothing you can't fix. So yeah, the only thing I would say is the glass is a little bit distorted, so yeah, it's going to be a bit difficult to see any cockpit interior detail in there. And then obviously you got a bag with the decals and the etched brass and the masking cockpits for masking for the cockpit. Let's get the etched brass out if I can. Come on. Again, nice level of detail. Oh, excuse me. Detail there. That's the interior of the cargo bay doors. And then obviously you've got the various area speed indicators, etc. So yes, very nice indeed. So put that back in the bag so it doesn't get ruined. Cockpit mask, which you can see there. I think you can just make out the actual cuttings of it. So that will help with masking your canopy. So that's the bonus. Decals. Don't look too bad actually. But what they're like to bed down, I wouldn't think to say. Although if I do have a disaster, I do have some aftermarket decals from 26 decals for this. So that might not be a problem. So yes, we'll remain to see how they will bed down when I get around to building this. So yeah, pretty good, pretty good. So yeah, that is the Micro Blackburn Beverley. I have to say for 1/144th, it's quite well detailed actually. And the fact that you've got a mast set for your canopy and extra brass to add to the details is a very nice touch. And the quality of the sprues is very good, especially the panel line detail, because a lot, I mean, with some Eastern European kits, they're never really that good, and they're normally quite crude. But Micro are certainly getting up their game, I tell you, especially with that cockpit panel. That's lovely. So yeah. And I should imagine it builds into a nice little size representation of the Blackburn Beverley itself. So yeah, I did actually buy a few other RAF transport aircraft in 1/144. So should make a nice sort of little collection really, as and when I get around to building one of these. So yeah, I think I might buy myself another one, because I might do a couple of these. Or two more, because I want to do one in the aircraft that was based at Farnborough, and then obviously do one in the standard white and grey and silver scheme. But they're a lovely little kit. I'd certainly heartily recommend you go out and get one. So yeah. Anyway, that's it for now, guys. I will do another box review possibly tomorrow. If not tomorrow, maybe over the weekend. I don't know. See how things go. So leave your comments below, and as I always say, stay safe, wear a mask, wash your hands. 2 meters, not for much longer obviously. That may well change, because obviously we got the rollout of how to get out of this lockdown at long last. So let's keep our fingers crossed it goes according to plan. So there you go. Anyway, that's it for now, guys. So until the next time, keep crazy, happy modelling, and I'll chat to you soon. Cheers.